So we're here. This is Mexico, across the river. We're on a local property owner's lot, and she has a clear, easy riverbank for illegal aliens to cross at and come up onto her property. Wow. Linda, can you talk about what's happened with the window again for us?
If they want to break in, I'm not broke in very easily, but if they want to, they can remove a window, slip a child in, then go and unlock my door.
Wow.
But I'm here all the time now, so I moved here. My husband died 3 years ago, and I stayed here.
Okay.
So I'm a widow. Am I afraid? No.
That's
I've
good.
got more firepower on this road than I ever had in Austin, Texas.
Wow. Yeah.
Because there's 3 different entities here that take care of it. And I pick up my phone, which I need my phone. They're here within 5 minutes. In Austin, they won't come in for an hour, 2 hours.
Wow.
Well, they pulled the National Guard out from down at the end over there. Have you seen any more National Guard, or is it just mainly the feds and
what I'm seeing is when I go into town, DeSantis promised police from Florida, and I have seen police Florida cars. Mm-hmm. The black ones.
We saw some in Eagle Pass.
And then when I was at a barbecue place, there was a table of about 20 guys and women. I asked who they were. They were very friendly, but didn't offer any information. I pushed. Then I just noticed their tag. It was ICE.
Okay.
So a big group of ICE was here. They just said, I said, are y'all here for learning or what? And they go, yeah. You know, they're not supposed to identify themselves.
Sure.
And most people don't know what ICE is.
So you say you've been here 20 years?
20 years.
And has it always been?
Always been people coming across, yes. And in the spring, it was mainly, I noticed that the traffic turned black. So that meant, and I didn't know what that meant until I realized that they were coming from the countries that are black originated. And when I'm coming back and forth, I go to church maybe at 6 o'clock at night. I see women and children and everything walking along. I call the Border Patrol immediately because they're being attacked by dogs. It's dangerous to be out here after dark.
Okay.
Because people are dumping their dogs. Okay, you want to know something interesting? And this is truth, and I tell only truth. I talked to my groomer. My groomer said there was no room for my dog because she was holding border dogs. They're paying the kennel, the government's paying the kennel to keep the border dogs. I pay $20 a day. They pay much more, the government. So she says, Linda, I'm making more money by taking the border dogs. What happens to the border dogs? They're putting them in crates and they're shipping them to wherever the families are. If it's New York, it's Pennsylvania, if it's wherever they're being sent, our American dollars are paying for those dogs to be crated and shipped by airplane to their families. Those people don't have inoculations, and their dogs don't have inoculations. And that's why my kennel would not let me keep my dog there, because I have too many dogs here that do not have inoculations.
Wow.
So that's how deep it is.
Yeah. How often do you see people crossing right here?
Probably 2 times a week.
2 times a week?
The last time a guy tied himself off to a tree. He was trying to swim across, and he wanted to tie off to this tree so that he could bring a group over by hand over hand.
Right.
And whenever I see somebody, I stop what I'm doing and I immediately walk down to the water holding my phone. They know I've got a phone. I immediately walk down there and I do this. In other words, I'm telling them it's chest high. Come on, because once they're in the center of that current there, they'll be swept down and they'll get drowned. I don't want them drowned here. I want them on this property, and then I want them taken care of correctly. But I don't want to go, whoa, don't come, because I don't want dead people, what I have to remember because I live here.
Right.
But I've drug them out when they're half drowned, and it's families with people, old people are on young people's shoulders. The women are hooked in arms, and then they come across, and usually it's about 10 at a time. I wish I had my pictures. Then they change their clothes. They come with bags of clothes. They change their clothes right here on the porch. And by the time that they've changed their clothes, and the vans are here for them. They want to be picked up.
And part of it too is if you're overtly pushing back on them, they'll target you. If you overtly push back on the cartels and them and try to impede them and all that stuff, that's another reality that folks here got to live with. You know, that I know that dynamic plays.
I live in the cartel. I know who they are, and people on this side, they get more of the. Further down that way, they get more of the traffic of the drugs, and they want to call, but we say don't call because you don't want to. We're older folk; they could somehow kill us. So you just don't turn your back on a barking dog. You just look them straight in the eye and say, "I'm not your problem. Go on through."
Right.
And then my neighbors say, "Well, you're welcoming them." No, I'm not welcoming them, but they're not here. Are they here? Are my neighbors here? No, he's gone. He's gone somewhere. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hasn't been there in years.
Wow.
So, don't criticize what I do. I do know one group that came here. I spoke to them for a while because they came with a coyote. I wish I had my pictures. A coyote, I spoke to him. The guys were from El Salvador. They were dressed in $100 tennis shoes, $100 jeans. They had computers on them. And they were paid that gentleman, who looked like a little kid, $17,000 apiece to come across, because they are going to be for Cartel. They'll ship them into New York or whatever to do Cartel business, because these guys were smart. These were guys were being brought from another country that would work in their business,
Right.
which is mafia, Mexican mafia.
Right.
So there's an airboat comes up and down here at least 3 or 4 times a day. We've got helicopters.
The airboat is Border Patrol.
That's Border Patrol.
Yeah.
And then, that's a helicopter there.
Yeah.
And then we have people in regular John boats, and they're the what I call the weekend warriors. If there's cars parked underneath that palapa,
Yeah.
they're part of the cartel guests. If there's no car there and they're standing over there, or over in there, or taking a rest in that palapa, then they are trying to find a way to get across.
So that's cartel land over there.
Yeah, that's cartel acreage over there. They have horses and they have cattle and they have sheep and everything.
Wow.
I travel into big cities to sell my tie-dye.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people what's going on and they don't want to know. Why does that affect me? I said it affects you and your children, because this money is going to come out of your children's. They're already cutting back our Social Security. We can't work a job and make $60,000 a year and collect our Social Security. They cut it, so that you can only make $20,000 a year for a family. That's a husband and wife.
Are you happy with the Biden administration's handling of the border?
It's not Biden. He's not there. I'm sorry. He's not there.
What
So
about
he's a puppet.
Right.
He's a puppet, and I am a Trump person. He handled it well, and possibly he may go back into it and undo this. He won't undo it, but at least he'll right it.
Was there less traffic under Trump than there's been under Biden?
Yes.
So it's gotten much worse.
Oh, much. 1,000%. 1,000%. So, because there were laws in place, you couldn't just walk in. You had to identify who you are.
Right.
I've been a missionary in India. I was strip searched in and out of India. And I was met with AK-47s off my airplane. Wow. They protect their borders. We don't even do that. We just say, come on in. We don't know who you are, but just come on in.
Wow. Yeah.
We're not allowed to ask who they are. So, I'm very excited. I'm 73 years old, and I'm very excited to be watching history and being a part of it. And other people have interviewed me also from all over the world, because I'm visible and I'm able to be here to give you the information. And I don't give you information that I haven't verified. I'm not a hearsay.